and today we will be reading A Course in Miracles, lesson 76, and we're going to go ahead and start with a review of the previous lessons. Lesson 40, I am blessed as a son of God. Lesson 41, God goes with me wherever I go. Lesson 42, God is my strength, vision is his gift. Lesson 43, God is my source, I cannot see apart from him. Lesson 44, God is the light in which I see. Lesson 45, God is the mind with which I think. Lesson 46, God is the love in which I forgive. Lesson 47, God is the strength in which I trust. Lesson 48, there is nothing to fear. Lesson 49, God's voice speaks to me all through the day. Lesson 50, I am sustained by the love of God. Lesson 61, I am the light of the world. Lesson 62, forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. Lesson 63, the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Lesson 64, let me not forget my function. Lesson 65, my only function is the one God gave me. Lesson 66, my happiness and my function are one. Lesson 67, love created me like itself. Lesson 68, love holds no grievances. Lesson 69, my grievances hide the light of the world in me. Lesson 70, my salvation comes from me. Lesson 71, God's plan for salvation will work. Lesson 72, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Lesson 73, I will, there be light. Lesson 74, there is no will but God's. Lesson 75, the light has come. And now lesson 76, I am under no laws but God's. We have observed before how many senseless things have seemed to you to be salvation. Each is imprisoned you with laws as senseless as itself. You are not bound by them. Yet to understand that this is so, you must first realize salvation lies not there. While you would seek it for it in certain things that have no meaning, you bind yourself to laws that makes no sense. Thus you seek to prove salvation is where it is not. Today we will be glad you cannot prove it. For if you could, you would forever seek salvation where it is not and never find it. The idea for today tells you once again how simple salvation is. Look for it where it waits for you, and there it will be found. Look nowhere else, for it is nowhere else. Think of the freedom in the recognition that you are not bound by all the strange and twisted laws you have set up to save yourself. You really think that you would starve unless you have stacks of green paper strips and piles of metal discs. You really think a small round pellet or some fluid pushed into your veins through a sharpened needle will ward off disease and death. You really think you are alone unless another body is with you. It is insanity that thinks these things. You can call them laws. You put them under different names and into a long catalog of rituals that have no use and serve no purpose. You think you must obey the laws of medicine and economics and of health, protect the body, and you will be saved. These are not laws, but madness. The body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. The body suffers just in order that the mind will fail to see it as the victim it is. The body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. It would not understand it in its own enemy, that it attacks itself and wants to die. It is from this your laws would save the body. It is for this you think you are a body. There are no laws except the laws of God. This needs repeating over and over until you realize it applies to everything that you have made in opposition to God's will. Your magic has no meaning. What it is meant to save does not exist. Only what is meant to hide will save you. What it is meant to hide will save you. The laws of God can never be replaced. We will devote today to rejoicing that it is so. It is no longer a truth that we would hide. We realize instead it is a truth that keeps us free forever. Magic imprisons, but the laws of God make free. The law has come because there are no laws but His. or the light has come because there are no laws in his. We will begin the longer practice period today with a short review of the different kind of laws we have believed we must obey. These would include, for example, the laws of nutrition, of immunization, of medicine, of the body's protection in an innumerable way. Think further, you believe in the laws of friendship, of good relationships and reciprocity. Perhaps you even think that there are laws which set forth which is God's and what is yours. Many religions have been based on this. They would not save but damn in heaven's name. Yet they are no more strange to those laws you hold that must be obeyed to make you safe. There are no laws but God's. Dismiss all foolish magical beliefs today and hold your mind in silent readiness to hear the voice that speaks the truth to you. You will be listening to one who says there is no loss under the love of God. Laws of God. Payment is neither given nor received. Exchange cannot be made. There are no substitutions, and nothing is replaced by something else. God's laws forgive and forever give and forever and never take. Hear him who tells you this, and realize how foolish are the laws you thought upheld the world you thought you saw. Then listen further. He will tell you more about the love your Father has for you, about the endless joy he offers you, about his yearning for his only Son, created as his channel for creation, denied to him by his Son's belief in hell. Let us today open God's channel to him and let his will extend through us. Thus is creation endlessly increased. His voice will speak to us, as well as the joys of heaven, which his laws keep limitless forever. We will repeat today's idea until we have listened and understood there are no laws but God's. Then we will tell ourselves, as a dedication with which the practice period concludes, I am under no laws but God's. We will repeat this dedication as often as possible today, at least 3 or 4 times an hour, as well as in response to any temptation to experience ourselves as subjects to other laws throughout the day. It is our statement of freedom from all danger and all tyranny. It is our acknowledgement that God is our Father and that his Son is saved. Well, good morning. I am so happy you're here with us this morning. Y'all, it's such a good reminder. You know, what is more true to me than what God says? You know, that's just kind of what I'm taking away from this. You know, she frames it as laws, you know, the laws of medicine, laws of nutrition, laws of the road, you know, all these different laws. And one of the things that I like about this is that it's so the human laws serve, you know, our human body and our human physical dimension. And there's a part of that is it's very real for right here, right now. But what we're called to consider it is what is outside of time. And this is where it's like mental exercises, you know, like, oh wow, that's hard to extend my mind's thinking into looking at the world through God's perception, where time is removed. And when you think of time is removed, it's like, oh, well, then what's the past? What's the future? What's even now? It's so interesting. Like, it's very, very curious when you kind of look at the world through God's eyes. And yet that's the goal. Because when we consider that, now everything changes. The things that we make such a big deal, the things we are holding grievances about, how much of that is actually worthy of concern or worry and anxiety. And so the thing that I'm grateful for is the reminder that we are not our physical body. And that's a hard one for me to remember on the day-to-day, because we live in such a physical world. You know, there's not much other than what we intentionally pursue, such as vertical alignment in the morning. There's not much that we intentionally pursue that brings us into kind of like a spiritual awareness. And this is partially why I think that these shows are important in the mornings, to remind us, oh yeah, there's something more true than even this physical body. You know, when you do surgery on someone and cut open to their heart, you don't find them, you find literally a beating, pulsing entity, but it's not who they are. And so if we were to really attribute meaning and value to each one of us because of our human flesh and this human dimension, this human world, I think that actually really limits you and me. We don't see each other clearly. We don't see ourselves clearly. And also when tragedy does strike, it is really like the end of the world in so many ways, until we remember, like, oh man, is there, and I actually have faith for this. I don't have proof of it. I have faith believing that, I'm going to see my brother-in-law again. I really do have faith for that. I don't know the details, and I'm okay just having faith in that, but I really do have faith that at some point I'll see him again. And this physical life isn't the end all be all. There's more to come, and none of us know the details, but that's really a hopeful thought, that this isn't the end. It's like what we're learning here. This is in so much life right now this is our chance to grow, to learn, to be in the arena, to effectively prove ourselves worthy and ready for whatever is next. And so I'm looking here at this paragraph that I just want to read one more time from today's lesson. The body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. The body suffers just in order that the mind will fail to see it is the victim of itself. The body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. It would not understand it. It is its own enemy, that it attacks itself and wants to die. It is from this your laws would save the body, for it is for this you think you are a body. So there's something that when I just love how it said the body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. So often, and I've seen this with so many folks, where physical manifestation of sickness is actually hiding something that's really sick inside of them, whether it's their mind or their soul or even their spirit is just grieving or really in a lot of pain. And so what's going on in our physical body can actually be kind of a manifestation of what's going on inside of us. And man, if we're not well internally, if we're really suffering inside, usually that will come forth in our physical body. A friend of mine, she was on the Knowing podcast a couple years ago, and she shared how she had terrible arthritis in her fingers. She was not even 30 years old, and she had her daughter, and she couldn't pick up her baby. And it was really devastating to watch, just like literally becoming a cripple effectively in front of her daughter's eyes, just like, it was really like deteriorating. And she decided to, just kind of in concert with this, she decided to go to talk to kind of a mentor around some family issues that had just been ever since she was a little girl. And in that process of talking to that mentor, she decided to forgive her aunt who had really like severely mistreated her. And within a number of weeks, her arthritis went away. And she had tried every medication. She had been living on medication for like 5 years at this point. And she had effectively decided to stop taking meds because they weren't working and you just become addicted to them. And so she stopped medication, but then she went and she decided to forgive. And literally within, I think it was either a number of days or a number of weeks, her arthritis went away. And she was shocked. She had no idea that there was no connection to like the deterioration of her heart in holding that grievance led to the deterioration of her hands. And y'all, it's so connected. Just yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine who this is like a whole new topic. He was just talking to me about neurological pathways and the healing, that when you start healing those pathways on a neurological level, you actually can. He gave me the example. He was like, we've seen it where if somebody does literally like eye and mind exercise, they then can go do more pull-ups at the gym. And I was just like my mind is still blown. Like I need to learn so much more, but there's so much that happens neurologically, emotionally, spiritually, like they're all connected. We can't look at our body and look at our life and our inner world in isolation. Our physical self so often is a manifestation of what's going on inside of us. So if we're tying our quality of life and our meaning and our purpose to the external body, we're never going to be able to go inward and fix anything and take control and take power back. So much of why we've been talking about forgiveness over the last couple of weeks and grievances and what is real love is because once we actually take that back and say, you know what, I'm actually not going to outsource my worth and my meaning to you. You're no longer going to have that kind of power over me, because now I am externally sourced. I'm looking outward. I am dependent on everyone and everything around me to give me meaning, to give me value, to tell me I'm worthy, to tell me I'm loved, to tell me who I am. That's already true if I was to actually go inward and remind myself of my identity. Y'all, forgiveness puts us back in the driver's seat and on the pinnacle of the mountaintop of our lives. We cannot really serve. We cannot really, really love if we have not first done the work to really, really know and then heal. And the reason for that is because we become actually dependent on them. We're not able to give freely, love freely, serve freely if we are forever tethered to their expectation, their opinion, honestly, their decision over our worth. And so for that reason, this is so important to do every single day, to just go inward and remind ourselves of the truth. I am under no laws but God's. No matter how loud, no matter how loud the other laws are, y'all, the more we can remember, I am not my physical body. I am not this flesh. This flesh is a vessel in which this presence and power that is who God made is taking shape. Because then when I remember who I am, at the core level, I can have an accident like our precious Sammy, who has been in a wheelchair for 2 years and can only, speak. I can't imagine that pain, but he is not his body. And thank God for that. And that's how my sister can lose her precious husband and know that she's still worthy in love, because she is not a wife. She is not a mother. We don't have our identity in these physical things, in these roles, in these physical bodies. And so the more we can remind ourselves of that, the more we can actually find the worth and the value and the meaning in who we are and who the other people are around us. It reorients our gaze. It reorients I think it actually reorients our peace even, reminding us of what is more true than even what's upsetting on the news. We are not of this physical world. There's something more deeper and longer lasting, of greater value, that's more precious than gold. So with that, I'm going to just jump here in the chat and say good morning. Thank you all so much for joining. Thunder Dude, hello. Unfiltered. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through all of these comments this morning. I know I'm late jumping in, but I do save the chat so that I can read them at another time. Wisda1, hello. Thank you. I love that. I'm so glad you're here. Matthew, thanks for hanging out. I'm so glad you're joining us. Paul, Gerd Teleny, just looking through here. Amin, hello. Paul. Winston, what's with your hair? Every time I see you, it's a different shade. I have not colored my hair in a year, so I don't know what you're seeing. Unfiltered energy, good morning. Soul searching, hello. Not laws. John Lench, hello. Brad. Tober, hello. Sammy, oh, I was just talking about you, Sammy. I'm so glad you're here. Hobby, good morning. I'm just going to scroll down to some of the recent chats. Viking Lloyd, good morning. Amen, loves Jesus. There's so much evidence that God is real. Look around you and see the mountains and the ocean and the sun and the design of the human body. The evidence points to a creative mind that created us. I love that. Absolutely. Nobody. Good morning. Kevin, good morning. Goku, Manton, hello. Formerly Rob, hi. Charlie, good morning. Darren, hello. Kevin, Skeeter, Skeeter 8, good morning. I love it. Y'all, thank you so much for joining today. We are, just for those who would like to hang out with us later, on, let's see, what time are we doing this? I'm going to be talking business with a friend today at 1:30 p.m. For anyone who wants to join that. And then we'll be live again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Christene Marie _knowing. So there's 2 other channels that we'll be live on. Let me go ahead and pull those up, and I'll just put them in the chat for whoever wants to talk business, and then whoever wants to continue to join us. Oh, let me do this. Here is the business one. All right, so whoever wants to talk business tonight, we're going to be talking about branding, marketing there. And then if you guys want to join us for the Knowing Show this evening, this is where, I'm a little bit more engaged with the chat and we go deeper on things. And that's where we'll be doing that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Foundation First Marketing, and then 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Christene Marie _knowing. So with that, thank you all so much for joining today. I hope you have just the most wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Maybe we'll talk something about that tonight. Who knows? All right, y'all. Have a good night or day. Talk to you soon.